Big day Saturday, of course, in Sydney with the first day of the championships, and you've got a hand to play. 4 runners there into the big ones. Let's first of all talk the key runner in Brandenburg. Comes in with 50.5 kilograms in that Doncaster. Terrific in the Hobart when we saw him last month. How's the horse going into this one?
Yeah, the horse is actually, everything's coming together like a puzzle. It's just worked out perfectly. We decided after the Guineas race, so he's probably being a Burgundy, probably a mile to 2,000 is his limit. So
yeah,
switched back and we saw the weights. He was at 49, then they've raised the weights. It was a good chance to have a go at a race like this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, in preparation, could you have him sort of much better for this one?
No, couldn't really. Glenn Boss rode him. The big line for us was when we rode him there, when we started in the George Ryder. Glenn Boss said, look, I'll ride him there, because he rode him last season and really liked him. And he said, if you finish within 2 lengths of the winner, you'll drop 7 kilos and you'll be a big chance in the Doncaster. Well, when he got off, he said straight away, I'll ride him. So that was a very good line. He had a good blow that day, probably gotten away from us a bit being a colt, and that cleaned him up very well.
Okay, for this one, how does he measure up in terms of the quality of the race for you?
I think 3-year-olds this year, probably the best crop of 3-year-olds Australia and New Zealand have had for many a year. It goes back to the octagonal and long road days, I think. These 3-year-olds have been coming up right from the start of the season, from Super Sleuth upwards, have been beating the older horses. And I think it's going to carry on because they're just a good bunch. And so we're against handicap races. So you come in so light, you're right in the running.
Okay, win, lose or draw this weekend. Sarge, what do you do with Brandenburg after the Doncaster?
Yeah, he'll go out after Saturday, have a nice break, and he'll come in the spring and obviously be set for the Golden Eagle. That's worth $4 million. So that'll be his main aim early in the spring.
Of your 4 runners on Saturday, John, who's the pick of them?
I think the favourite for the Doncaster, Brandenburg, I think he's a very good chance.
Nice.